So what was his story? What was,
Well, he got raped,
uh-huh.
and everybody said, "Well, I heard that he got raped." Uh,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
prisoners don't tell. Prisoners don't. They won't tell you anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they come up with all kinds of words to get around admitting that they witnessed it.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of True Stories from a Real Private Eye. I'm your host, Vinnie Coppola, and with me, as always, is Lynn Lambdin, a real private investigator right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks so much for coming back. So good to see you again. Hey, Lynn, what do you got for us this week?
Well, Vinny, how are you doing this week, buddy?
I'm doing good, my friend. How are you?
I can't complain. I'm on the right side of the dirt, so I'm always happy.
There you go.
What
It's the best place to be.
best place to be? That's right. Well, Vinny, this week I thought we would talk about a rape case with a few twists and turns,
All right, sounds interesting.
and you're going to be shocked when we get to the end of this story.
Okay.
Well, but you may be shocked before we get to the end of this story.
Yeah. Hey
So,
man, when it comes to rape, I'm always shocked. I'm just like, what are you doing, man? I mean,
well,
you know, I mean, what
you,
what? But you know what, buddy? When it comes to rape, I believe there should be I believe that should carry a capital punishment.
I agree with you. And
Yeah.
they've been a lot of debate about that lately. And they said the reason that they don't want to get capital punishment is because it will cause the offender to kill their victim
Uh huh.
to get rid of the witness.
Hmm.
And that's
Wow.
why they will not put a capital punishment on rape.
Well, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But this particular rape case, you're probably going to say, well, maybe they didn't deserve the death penalty for this rape case.
Really.
You'll see.
All right.
And this is not your typical. I'm against rape 1,000%, and I agree with you. And I think anybody that commits rape should be should get capital punishment, no question.
Yeah.
No, no.
There's some countries in the world as we speak that castrate you for committing rape.
Well, I don't think that castration is good enough.
I agree with that. I agree with that, but I think it's a good start. you know.
Well, me too. I think it's a very good start. But
Yeah.
but here's so this happened. This was kind of early in my career. I'd probably been in business 4 or 5 years, and I get a call from an attorney that I've been working for. I've been working for him for ever since I'd started in the business. He's probably the second attorney I'd ever started working for, and God love him, he is now deceased. He died as a very young man, and just a very sad death. But that's beside the point. He was a
Yeah.
very very funny attorney, very good man, very very good man. So he calls me up one day and he goes, "Lynn," he said, "I got a crazy case. I need your help on." And I said, "Okay, what is that?" And his first name was the attorney's first name was Steve.
Okay.
And anybody who 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 was affiliated, anybody listening who was affiliated with me back in those days, like Scott Monge, will know who Steve is
Okay.
because he passed, and Scott will know who he is. So, but anyway, um, he calls me up and he says, "I got this case for you, and I need you." And he said, "I need you to interview a whole bunch of people." And he said because a whole bunch of people witnessed this rape. He said it's a rape case, and a whole bunch of people witnessed it.
Oh
I said,
boy.
I said, okay. I said, I'll be more than happy to help you. He said, all of our witnesses is in the DeKalb County Jail. He said, so you got to go to the DeKalb County Jail and you have to interview these people. And he said, I'd like for you to record it. And I said, well, okay. And this is one of my very first experiences of actually going into a jail or a prison and interviewing somebody. Now, since then, I've done it hundreds of times, but this was my very first time going into the prison, into a jail, and interviewing people. And
Now,
it
when a
was
guy like you who has business, who's working for an attorney, goes into a jail and has to interview or talk to one of the inmates, do you got to go through the same crap that we all do? Because I had a friend that was in jail, and you have to go there. You have to, first of all, yeah, you find out when his day is that he can see people, and then you gotta give him your driver's license, and then you sit in this room and you wait for them to call you, and it's this whole big ordeal. Or do you just
no,
go right in?
no.
Okay,
Uh, I was working in under the attorney umbrella, so I have attorney privileges.
okay.
Now,
So
I
you just
I
walk in.
I do not have attorney privileges on. Now, our client was in jail too.
Yeah,
I do not have attorney privileges on all cases, but when I go into a jail, I do not have to go, depending on what I'm doing, I do not have to go through the rigmarole that you have to do to visit an inmate as a friend or relative.
yeah.
Because I never go to see anybody I have never been to a jailhouse or a prison to see anybody as a friend or relative.
Oh, okay.
So so if I go to serve somebody in jail, there's procedures that I can go anytime and serve someone based on the jail or the prison's criteria.
Right.
So some jails will say you can come anytime. Some jails say you can come between 9 and 5. Some jails say you can come between 8 and 10. So, just whatever the situation is. So I have to follow their guidelines if they have set forth. If I'm serving somebody that's in jail,
Got it.
if I'm going as an attorney's proxy, I have to take a copy of the attorney's driver's license, bar card, and a letter from the attorney saying that I am there on the attorney's behalf. And the attorney has to fax that in to whoever's in charge. And then I go and I show my credentials, and then I go in, I sign in, and then I go down to the attorney room. I don't go into where you meet them as a visitor. I go down to the attorney room. I go to the basement and go to the attorney room.
So you
Now,
got a private one-on-one.
so I got a private one-on-one.
Okay.
Now, here's when I tell you I go down to the basement, go to the attorney room. It's an experience within itself because I have to go through double locked doors. If you know what I mean by double locked doors,
Yes,
you
I do.
go, they open one door, you go in, they lock it, then they unlock the other door, and you go through.
Right.
So you get in this elevator, you go down, and when you go down, and you have to have a key card to even go down. You can't go up or down without a key card. So you get in the elevator, you go down, and they give you this special card so that you can go down. And when you go down, it is nothing but concrete walls, and I mean it's just cold and damp, and the paint peels off the wall because it's bricks and concrete and
Steel.
then
Yeah.
and steel, and then you
Yeah.
go through these double doors, and you go in one double door, and then somebody will radio, okay, open gate B, and then that you go through this one, and then you hear that cold clank behind you, and it's just like, man, I wouldn't want to be locked up here for nothing.
Yeah, I hear you.
And it'll almost give you a panic attack, thinking, what if something happens and I can't? What if the power goes out?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I was just wouldn't want to be, and it's like for me to get to the attorney room, I had to go through 3 double doors,
Yeah.
and it's just like I don't want to be here.
Right.
So, but anyway, in this particular situation, we had to get permission for me to go in and interview. I think it was 7 different people who witnessed this rape. Now you're thinking, why was all 7 people plus your client in jail?
I was.
Okay, here's why. And
Uh,
this is what makes it a non-traditional rape. Our client went into jail and he thought that he was going to make it easy on himself by pretending to be crazy and going into the psych ward. Well, when he went into the psych ward, there was a guy there who also was in the psych ward who stripped down bare naked and was just raping everybody there.
Oh my God.
He was a big dude. So this guy never put any clothes on the whole time that our client was there, and he just walked around raping people. And the guy had AIDS.
Oh God.
And remember, this was back in the mid 90s, late 90s, and this was before they had any really. This was back when we first thought that you could get AIDS by sitting on a toilet seat and all this other stuff.
Right.
And so our guy thought he had AIDS because he got raped by this guy. And remember, this is a male prison. This wasn't a mixed prison. This was a male lockup.
I got you, man. Yeah. Yeah.
See why I said this is not a traditional rape? And
yeah, bad enough going to prison. Holy cow, man.
So and now here's the catcher.
Crime does not pay.
Well, here's the catcher, Vinny.
Yeah.
I interviewed 7 people, and guess how many of the 7 people collaborated his story?
How many?
0.
7 people did not. They didn't back up your client's story.
Exactly.
Now your client was the rapee, not the raper, right?
Yes.
So what was his story?
Well, he got raped.
Uh-huh.
And everybody said, well, I heard that he got raped.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Prisoners don't tell. They won't tell you anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they come up with all kinds of words to get around admitting that they witnessed it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Vinny. They knew exactly how to say what they needed to say, yes, I witnessed it, but to say it in a way that it wouldn't be admissible in court.
Yeah. Yeah.
All 7 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I bet you, did you ask any of these 7 guys if they were raped by this guy?
I did.
And I bet you they were like, oh, no. He raped the other 6. But
No, you're right. None of them would admit to being raped.
Yeah.
But we know
I was spared, but the other guys, they got it.
Well,
I'm kidding. Of course, they're not snitching. So yeah.
3 of the others got raped.
Oh, okay.
But they wouldn't admit it.
Right.
Yeah.
But did they do the same kind of half-ass telling the truth?
Yes.
Lying but telling the truth?
But they wouldn't. One of them told me that he was involved in some kind of incident with this same guy.
Yeah.
And the rest but the other 2 would not admit it at all. But I mean, they would say things like, well, I heard that something happened. Well, I was in my cell and I heard some commotion, but I didn't see anything. I kept my back turned, and every one of them seen it, Vinny. Every one of them,
It sounded like rape.
and one of them actually said, "Well, I was wondering why he was screaming."
Yeah, right. Come on.
I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny.
Trust me, yeah, I know.
But our client committed a kind of a serious crime that was going to yield him probably 20 to 25 years in prison.
Right.
So, do I feel bad for him? Kind of, but don't commit crimes if you don't want to go to jail, because we all know what happens in jail.
Right. Yeah.
Now that brings me to another point. We have all these people committing crimes because they hate people with a passion, like the guy that stormed the press ball, whatever it was, in Washington. He did that because he's been taught to hate people.
Right.
His parents and his family and friends taught him anger and taught him to hate.
Right.
So his hate brought him to the point where he's going to end up in prison being raped.
This episode is brought to you by Simple Funding LLC. For all of your pre-settlement funding needs, contact Simple Funding LLC to receive your money promptly. They're a customer-centric legal funding company that provides exceptional funding solutions at affordable rates. Simple Funding covers a diverse range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, worker compensation, medical malpractice, wrongful death, and more. They recognize that life goes on and you need to access your funds immediately, which is why they offer clients a swift and efficient process with minimal documentation requirements. For more information, visit simplefundingllc.com or contact them directly at 678-855-6232.
Now think about that, Vinny. Now, what about this 21-year-old that stormed the White House, 21-year-old, and ended up getting killed? You think his mother's proud of him?
No.
She taught him to hate people. She taught him to hate to the point to where that he hated that he was going to storm that White House and kill somebody. I don't know who he was going to kill, but he was going to kill somebody because he stormed it with a gun.
Right.
And so somebody in his family, his mother, his father, his grandmother, whoever raised him, taught him to hate so strongly, Vinny, that it got him killed.
Well, I mean, I believe that these young guys and young women these days, I mean, like you're talking about a 21-year-old guy, right? That's the guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
I believe that the majority of kids, and I'm going to call them kids because, you know, I'm in my 50s, the majority of those kids get all of their opinions from social media. And
but sure they do. But
and I think in addition to maybe a family member like a mother or a father, but social media has ingrained that hatred in these kids.
But I'm going to give you I'm going to play devil's advocate with you here.
Okay.
My son's 25 years old, turned 25 this year, or turned 25 in December of last year. My son grew up with a cell phone in his hand. He's glued to social media all the time.
Yeah.
My son's values are the same as mine.
Right.
Me and his mother taught him he don't hate people.
Yeah.
My son is a happy kid. He loves people.
Yeah.
And if he saw you broke down on the side of the road, he would stop and help you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is a lot. Nurture has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. And he doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care who you vote for. He doesn't care what color your skin is. Yeah. If he sees you in need, he will stop and help you.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's a lady, a black lady, that was having a hard time. She's in her 60s, and she was complaining because she had to drink instant coffee because she didn't have a coffee maker. And my son scraped together every dime that he could scrape together and bought her an instant coffee maker.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And I didn't know about it. His mother didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Now, my son scraped together everything that he could scrape together and bought her a nice $100 coffee maker so that she could have her
brewed coffee
because she was complaining about the instant coffee that she was drinking because they live in the same apartment complex.
Right.
And my son smokes, and he won't smoke inside of his apartment, so he goes outside to smoke. And she goes outside of her apartment to smoke, and they were talking outside, and she was complaining about it. And so he done it because she was complaining, and he just showed up and surprised her with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good guy.
Now, and he does that because that's what we taught him to do, because he's seen me do that all my life.
Right.
He's seen me stop and buy homeless people food. He's seen me He's seen me, um, you know, there was a man standing on the side of the road here in Roswell um, one winter, and he was as sick as a dog, sick, coughing, hacking, and I stopped and I said, "Buddy, can I help you?" And he said, "Look, I'm sick." He said, "I'm sick." "I'm trying to get home to where somewhere up in Missouri or something." And he said, "This charity's getting me a bus ticket." He said, "I just got a bad cold and a flu or something." I went to Walmart and bought him some flu medicine. And then I went across the street to this restaurant that sells soup, and I bought him two different types of soup and take it back. And my son was with me.
Yeah.
And my son has seen me do this all of his life.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. My son, and my son's glued to social media as much as any kid today.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So yeah. Yeah. Very true. I mean, left to their own devices with these social media sites, I guess, they can turn out bad, but with the right guidance, of course, nurture, wins every time.
And when your parents hate and they breed hate into you
And they speak hate.
and they speak hate
Yeah.
and they see you practice hate, then they take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Because see, you have to understand, if Vinny is angry and your kids witness you being angry and disrespecting, then your kids don't know any better and they take it a step further.
Right.
And then their kids take it even a step further and end up getting killed because of it.
Yeah.
Or end up going to prison and being raped.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is that really the reason? Is that really the way you want to raise your kids?
Yeah. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't, I'm proud of my son that he he said, "I'm not going to buy cigarettes. I'll go without smoking, and I'll cut back on the potato chips, but I'm going to buy this lady a coffee pot."
Yeah. Very nice. I like that.
He chose to cut back on his vices to buy this woman a coffee pot because he felt for her and said, "Okay, I'm just going to, this is what I'm going to do."
Yeah. I like that.
And could he have used a pair of shoes? Sure, he could. He goes through. He's heavy, so he goes through shoes quickly. Because
Yeah.
could he have used that money to buy a pair of shoes? Sure.
Yeah.
But I was very proud of him for. It's not like he's barefooted and needs shoes, but he
Right.
wears shoes out quickly,
Yeah.
and because he's very heavy. I'm very proud of him that he made the right decision and decided to buy her for her coffee pot.
Absolutely.
But my point being is that you can teach kids. Kids are born to blank slate,
Yeah.
and you can teach kids. And by the time a kid is 5 years old and has a device in his hand, he's already been programmed.
Oh yeah.
Your kid has already developed his personality, and if your personality is anger and hate, your kid's personality is going to be anger and hate.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you turn on the news, I don't even watch the news, and somebody has to point something out to me, and it has to be pretty horrific. And matter of fact, our good friend Ken Krause is the one who pointed out that there was a shooting at the White House. That's how I knew that the guy got killed at the White House.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so um, the why would a parent want to raise a kid to end up being killed in a hell of bullets because he's trying to kill the president or somebody at the White House, whoever he was trying to kill, or go to prison because he robbed a bank or because of whatever? Why wouldn't you raise? Why would a parent want to see your kid end up like that? Does that make them proud?
I would hope not.
I mean, wouldn't you think that these parents would go, you know what, I'm going to raise my kid better?
Yeah.
But they don't, Vinny.
I know.
They're teaching them hate.
Yeah.
And that's why they end up where they're at.
Yeah. What did this guy do? What was the crime that he committed that got him 20, 25 years?
Um, I think it was armed robbery.
Did anybody get hurt?
No, I don't think anybody got hurt.
Okay.
But he robbed. I don't think. I think he robbed. He went into somebody's apartment and robbed them at gunpoint.
So what was his case? Okay, so he got raped and he was trying to
He wanted to sue. He wanted to sue the county for allowing this guy in prison to rape him because they.
oh, and possibly did he get AIDS?
Yes.
He wound up catching AIDS?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a case.
Yeah. Well, if he would have had any witnesses, he had no witnesses.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
You can't help me out, man.
No, we dropped his
You
case.
want to know something, buddy? You want to know something? That's that's sad. That's but on the other hand, it's poetic justice. You know, you
Well,
commit a crime. You know, you're not when if you commit a crime against another human being, and armed robbery is a crime against another human being, whether they got hurt or not. You're stealing their property.
yep.
You know, I mean, this is a society. We're supposed to be taking care of each other. You do something like that that hurts another human being, and you're not due no quarter. You know,
Nope.
so you're raped by a big guy who gives you AIDS in prison. Hey, maybe next life you'll think twice. You know,
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Vinny. I didn't feel bad for him because
Uh,
here's the way I looked at it, Vinny.
I listen, buddy. You know, I know it's going to sound cold, but you know, there's a part of me that just does not feel bad for him because he committed a crime against another human being.
Well, here's the part that here's why it doesn't bother me. The guy was like 28, 29 years old. And if he would have come into my house to try to commit armed robbery,
He
he
would
would
have
have been
died.
dead. He would have been dead.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
AIDS was an easy sentence for him.
yeah,
At least he's got his life
yeah,
because I'm just being straight up with you.
yeah,
If he would have come into my house, they would have
yeah.
had to identify him by something other than his face or teeth because I'd have blew his head completely off his shoulders.
Right. Yep.
Because
Yeah.
I told you my weapon of choice is a 12 gauge shotgun with double aught buckshot,
Yeah.
and that will explode your head. And a pumpkin
Oh,
ball. I load it.
oh, yeah.
I alternate double aught buckshot and pumpkin balls.
Yeah.
And I took the plug out of my gun, and I think it holds 9 shells with the plug out.
Wow.
And I'll tell you a real quick story. I
Okay.
seen this story where it happened somewhere in Georgia, and I can't remember, but a armed robber tries to break into this woman's house. She's got 2 kids, so she goes and hides. She goes upstairs, and she has one of those attics where that has these little doors, and then you go back into the roof line area. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So she goes back in there and hides. So he finally gets the door kicked in, and she's on the phone with 911. And she's saying, "Get the police here, hurry! He's going to kick the door in." And then on the 911 tape, she goes, "He's in the house. Hurry! Get the police here. He's going to find me. I'm hiding from him. Get the police here." And so you hear this woman saying, "Okay, he's coming up the stairs. He's coming up the stairs." And then you hear the woman say, "Oh, he's found me. He's found me. He's found me and my kids." And she's going, "Get away or I'll kill you. Get away or I'm going to shoot you. I have a gun. Get away." And you hear the guy mumbling something, and then you hear 6 shots. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
And she paralyzed the guy, I mean, on the left side. Just his arm and leg was just dragging.
Right.
And in an interview on TV, they said, "Why did you shoot him 6 times?" She goes, "Because when I pulled the trigger the 7th time, the gun went click."
Yeah. Yeah.
So in court,
Yeah.
he was found guilty by a jury of his peers.
Right. Good.
And the judge, before sentencing, his attorney says, Your Honor, we would like to ask for a light sentence of just a few years in prison and probation. 5 years in prison and probation. And the judge says, I don't find that reasonable. And the judge said, first of all, the woman hid, said Miss So-and-so hid, allowed him to rob the place and leave, gave him full access to the house and leave. And he sought her out, obviously to harm her.
Yeah.
He said, so therefore, I'm sentencing him to the maximum. And his attorney spoke up and says, but Your Honor, he's paralyzed on the left side. He can't lift his left arm and his left leg drags. And the judge says, I don't want to hear anything else out of you.
Yeah.
The woman, Miss So-and-so, whatever her name was, gave him access to the house. When he started breaking in, she went and hid to allow him to rob the house. And he didn't want to rob the house. He wanted to harm her.
And she warned him. She warned him, I have a gun. Yeah.
And he forced her to use deadly force.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm sentencing him to life in prison.
Yeah.
Without the possibility of parole.
Good.
For the intent of him trying to kill her.
Yeah, that would have went a whole other way if she didn't have a gun.
Yeah, oh, sure it would. And that was the judge's point.
Yeah.
The judge's point was that he was there to kill her or rape her or whatever his point was, but he wasn't there to rob, he was there to harm.
Yeah.
So he gave him the maximum sentence.
And which was that Georgia?
That was Georgia.
See, God bless Georgia sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sometimes they get it right.
And this guy, and he come into court with his left hand, just he had no use of his left arm and his left leg. Yeah. He just drug his left leg, which I think that's I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care either. You get what you deserve what you get.
Yeah, you reap what you sow.
And the fact that you got life in prison, you shouldn't get a reduced sentence because of the harm that come to you because you broke in this woman's house.
Right.
There's no that doesn't the harm that you suffered of breaking into her house doesn't reduce your prison sentence for the crime you committed.
Exactly.
At all.
Right.
But I love her answer because when I pulled the trigger the seventh time, the gun went click.
Yeah. Yeah. There was. That's why I only fired 6. Yeah, because there was no 7th. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite answer in the world because the gun went click.
This episode is brought to you by the Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates, voted the best law firm by the American Institute of Trial Lawyers. When life hits you hard with a serious injury, don't let insurance companies hit you harder with lowball offers and endless runaround. You deserve justice. You deserve compensation. You deserve to win. The Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates have a high-powered legal team with a nationwide reach and the highest rating on the National Attorney Rating Service. Trial Magazine calls them one of the most influential law firms in America. They win big. Big results at trial court, appeals court, the state Supreme Court, and are recognized as award-winning litigators of the year. The Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates handle everything so you can heal. Don't face this battle alone. The aftermath of an accident is traumatic enough. Medical bills pile up, pain overwhelms, emotions run high, and that's where they step in to shoulder the legal fight while you focus on what truly matters, your recovery. They are the first law firm to offer a bigger settlement guarantee. If they can't beat the amount of your current settlement with a bigger settlement offer, your legal fees are free. Ready to win your case? Find out in one phone call if you have a case and how much your case is really worth. Call the Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates today at 1-888-477-0597 or visit them online at becauseyouwanttowin.com.
Hey, buddy, when I first moved to Georgia, I got my first gun. And I remember I was driving back to my apartment, and I kept my gun inside. I had three guns. One of them I kept inside my desk drawer. My desk drawer was right in the back of my desk was behind my living room, and I got home late. You know, it was after a show. It must have been like 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, driving all night, and I get out of my car, and there's a guy just standing, you know, out by another car, smoking a cigarette, and he's got this like look, you know, this just staring a bead of hate right through me. I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is, and I'm just like watching him, and he's just like, you know, he's got this scowl on his head like he's gonna do something, you know, and I was like, I was nervous because I didn't have my gun with me. And I walked up the stairs. He's still watching me, you know, watch me like he creeps over, you know, moves, so he can watch me walk up the stairs. And I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna try something. So I walk into my I believe this is like my first year in Georgia. So I walk into my apartment, I left the door unlocked, and I sat at my desk holding my gun, waiting for this guy. I just wanted him so bad to walk in so I could go, wrong house, motherfucker. Yeah.
I lived in an apartment over on Roswell Road, and I came home from the Punchline one night. My brother was here, and you know, we were it was late. It's probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and we was all, it was me and him and 2 or 3 other guys, and you know, and my brother was sleeping on the couch, and all of a sudden, you know, everybody had left except me and my roommate and my brother, and um, all of a sudden I heard my brother get very loud, and I come out of the bedroom, and my brother is standing there with with one of my snub nose shotguns in this guy's face, telling me he's going to kill him. And what happened is when the last person left, we didn't lock the door. And about 30 to 45 minutes later, somebody tried to break into the apartment, and they opened the door and come in.
Holy shit.
And I've always kept guns all around, hidden in strategic places. And well, I kept this shotgun and under the couch. And when he come in, my brother just reached over and under the couch, pulled the gun out from under the couch, and just popped up and just put that gun right in his face.
Yeah. Whoops.
Well, the last smell that we had was the smell of crap.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
because he didn't. I mean, because the lights were all turned off, and you know, because it's kind of dark in there. And my brother had the TV turned off, so there was, you know, no shadows. And this guy just comes creeping in the door.
Yeah.
And my brother just very slowly reached down, pulled that shotgun out from under the couch. And when he come up, he's going, "I'll blow your freaking head off."
Right. Yeah.
And that's when I heard, I said, "What is that?" And I come walking out of the bedroom, and there's my brother standing with this guy. And this guy's eyes were about this big around. Yeah. And my brother is kind of a hateful person.
Right.
And it wouldn't have, I mean, if one hair on this guy's head would have moved, my brother would have blew his head off.
I'm sure of it.
And needless to say, we had no need to lock our door from that point forth.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I got to learn his lesson.
Word got out quick. Don't go there.
He learned his lesson real quick.
Yeah.
That don't go in that door.
Don't go in that door. Yeah. So what happened with this guy? He didn't have a case.
Well, we dropped his case because we tried for weeks to get somebody to tell the story. I even went back and tried to coach.
Did you interview the raper?
No. But I went back. I went back to the jailhouse and interviewed the witnesses again. And I said, "Now look, we know you witnessed this. It's obvious that you witnessed this. I need for you to say this in this way." And they said, "I'm not going to do it."
Yeah.
It said you'll get me killed in here.
Yeah.
And they'd even tell you, they go, "I got 10 years left. You'll get me killed."
Yeah.
or or they'd say, I'm looking at a long prison sentence. If I'm labeled as a snitch, you get me killed. I'm not telling you anything.
Yeah.
You know,
You got to ensure that I get solitary for life.
yeah, well, pretty much.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't. We couldn't get any of them to word it in any way um, that. And I even drew up affidavits and said, "Here, would you read this and sign this?" And they said, "Nope, won't do it.
Yeah.
Not going to do it. Not going to go to court and testify. Nope."
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So he didn't win his case. Yeah. All right. Well,
No, no.
that's
He
what he
thought
gets.
he thought he was going to win him a nice big settlement against DeKalb County,
Yeah.
but no, there was no prisoner going to testify against DeKalb County because they were all looking at hefty sentences of a few years.
Well, not only will they get their ass kicked by the other inmates for being a snitch, but those guards are going to make their lives hard. They're going to make their lives hard as hell,
Yes.
especially if there's a ruling against. The warden will be like, you know what, man, mess that guy up.
Yep. Yep.
You think it's bad they got raped, one time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a daily occurrence for you.
And from my understanding, this guy that was raping everybody,
Yeah.
they just let him just walk around and rape whoever he wanted to rape. They never even he didn't do anything. They didn't try to stop him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
where are you going, Bart? Raping? All right.
But this was the
would you mind being back in your cell at 12? We'll see. All right. You do you.
or whoever you want to do.
Yeah, whoever you want to do.
This was the psych ward, though. This was the psych ward, and they said this guy was crazy. They said he was just completely just. They said his eyes rolled in different directions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I tell you, buddy, I had in my single days, I was dating a girl, and she remember she called me at 5:00 in the morning from jail. Says, hey, would you mind bailing me out? And I'm like, she went to jail. We had a date. We parted our ways because I had to work the next morning. Had to get up early. Had to get up very early. And I remember I came into work. I told my boss, I said, look, I got to run down to Miami to bail my girlfriend out of jail. I go, you mind if I leave for an hour? And he was cool. He let me go. I said, if my dad shows up, please don't tell him. I was working for my dad at the time. I don't tell him that I had to go bail my girlfriend out of jail. And that was my first experience with jail, buddy. And I made a promise to myself. I said, I'm never coming here. Never.
Yeah. What'd she do to go to jail?
She was driving under the influence, and when the officer pulled her over for weaving, she had drugs on her. She had cocaine on her.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took her to jail.
Yeah. Probably wasn't a whole lot to bail her out back then, was it?
I think it was like $350 or something, or maybe $650. It was something like that. Yeah.
These days it'd cost you a lot more than that.
For sure. Yeah.
When I was working in a club, one of the girls that I was working in a club with got pulled over for a DUI. And she said, she told the police officer, she says, I'm not taking your breathalyzer.
Oops.
She said, and he said, well, I'm just going to take you down to the station and draw blood. And this cocky, snotty little stripper, instead of doing a breathalyzer and getting a DUI, alcohol, made the police officer take her to the jail or to wherever they take you and do blood. And they took her and do blood, and they got her for heroin and cocaine.
Oh God!
Because that's what was in her system.
Yeah.
So if she would have just blew on the breathalyzer and took her DUI,
yeah,
she would have
great moments Great moments in dumb decisions.
Exactly. If she would have just blew and went to jail for DUI, she'd just been DUI, alcohol, less safe.
Yeah.
And because she was weaving and got pulled over. Instead, she wanted to mouth off to the cop and show the cop that she was smarter than him. So the cop took her and drew blood, and she had heroin and cocaine in her system. So they got her for DUI, heroin, and cocaine.
Embarrassed to say that I love it. I love when people do stupid crap and it screws them.
Sometimes, Vinny, it's better. What was it that Hank Hill said?
Hank Hill?
Yeah, Hank Hill, King of the Hill.
Oh, you know what? I never saw that show.
Hank said, when I thought I'd heard the stupidest thing ever, and then you open your mouth. What is it he says? It's better to... So I can't remember. It's better to let people think you're stupid and open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Oh yeah, and prove it. Yeah.
And that was a situation there. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't remove all doubt.
Yeah, just take the breath.
Just take the breathalyzer and move on. Just get the DUI. Right. Let them take you to jail. Bond out. Shut up.
Well, holy cow, that was a good one, Lynn. Hey, if you like stand-up comedy and goofball videos, check me out online. My website is www.vinnie.com. That's VINNIE.com. All the links to all my social media are there. Give me a follow if you're feeling saucy. If you need to surveil someone, if you need to find someone, if you need to serve someone papers, if you need any kind of private investigative work, Lynn Lambdin is the best, ladies and gentlemen. Tell them your website.
LWIAS.com.
And thank you so much, Simple Funding and the Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates, for sponsoring this episode. Once again, if you need their services, tell them you heard about them on the podcast. And thank you so much for being here. We do so appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
And Vinny, I have to tell you that some of my favorite videos is the bad Uber driver.
Oh, thank you. Lynn, I thank you so much for bringing that up every so often. Yeah, that is.
Those are some.
I'm very proud of the bad Uber driver videos, ladies and gentlemen. I'll put links to my bad Uber driver videos. If you haven't seen them yet, please check them out and share them.
They are very, very funny.
I made them with a lot of very, very talented actors. I can't believe I was able to talk them into doing this dumb project with me, but it turned out so good. Give it a look. I'll put the links to Bad Uber Driver 1 and 2 in the description.
Anytime you want to laugh, just go watch those. They are very funny.
Thank you so much, Lynn. All right, here's the money. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week.